Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, March the 6th, early portion of the afternoon. And this week so far has been fairly easy. I've only had a few appointments. This past Monday morning was my normal 7 a.m. blood draw, and I had my 9:30 appointment, and everything was fairly routine. Numbers are getting better. Potassium, that was an issue for a while. That's now in range. And so the next number we're trying to focus on is my creatinine and trying to get that down. And it's improving, but slowly and not as fast as they would like it. And they talked to me about treatment options if that number does not continue to go down. And that's an if. If it gets to a point to where it's plateaued, not getting better, and basically what I would have to do is go into a center once a month, and they would put medication in me. It takes about 30 minutes. It's like a bag, sort of like a saline drip bag. They would connect to me, and that takes about 30 minutes. It seems like something I can do in my home, but again, I have to go to a center for that. But like I said, that's just an if my creatinine does not continue to go down. And my let's see, what's another number? My blood urea nitrogen, that went down a little bit, and so it's getting better. And I still have the drain line pushed into my kidney. Although there is a significant decrease in fluid output. And last week, I was given the option of having the line pulled out of my kidney. They did a sinogram and saw that the cavity in my kidney has significantly decreased in size, but it's still there. And the option was to take it out last week or keep it for another week and give that cavity another week to decrease more in size. Because by pulling the line out, had we done so last week, there is a chance that the cavity could grow and we would have to start the process all over again. And so I chose to keep it in for another week. And so again, today's Thursday, March the 6th. I go in next Tuesday, March 11th, for another sinogram. And basically, it's like an x-ray. It allows them to get a real good view of my kidney and the cavity in my kidney. And they're going to look at it. But based on the fluid output, it is so little. It is so little that they can definitely take it out next week, regardless of what the sinogram looks like. And because the little fluid that's outputting, it can simply be absorbed into my body. So again, it was my choice to keep another week. It doesn't hurt or nothing. It's a little inconvenient having this bulb, as they call it, hang out of me, and changing the bandage every other day or so. And so if you do have this drain line put into your kidney, the instructions say to change the bandage every 7 days. I would not do that, because I think I went 4 or 5 days before changing it, and it smelled really bad, to the point I thought I might have had an infection. And I had it checked out by the doctor, but everything was fine. And so I wouldn't recommend waiting 5 days, much less 7 days. Again, I do it every at least 2 days, so not an issue. Let's see. But as far as everything is going great, as good as I can expect it. I mean, obviously there's definitely room for improvement. And this coming Tuesday, March 11th, will make the 2-month mark since my transplant. which took place January 11th. And I'm still pretty much on the renal diet. I am, a little more free to venture out. And so that's going well. All my numbers are looking good. My protein is in range. My sodium, all that's in range, looking good. I believe the biggest thing I'm struggling with is, well, for a while they had me drinking 1.5 liters of water a day, which resulted in me having to go to the bathroom every other hour. Well, I just took it upon myself to reduce the amount of water I'm drinking, because basically I had one doctor tell me, because I complained to her about this 1.5 liters, and I said, it's too much. I should not be going to the bathroom every other hour and waking up every other hour during the night. And basically during the night, I'm pissing 2 cans of soda, the equivalent of 2 cans of soda. That's ridiculous. And then the doctor kind of laughed a little. She said, yeah, you're right. She says, but the bottom line is, we don't want you to dehydrate. And I said, that makes more sense. Okay, I'm not going to dehydrate in the middle of winter when I'm expected to isolate as much as possible. I'm not doing anything physical, and I have been going to the gym and just walking, and I barely even break a sweat. I do that 1 hour. I just go in, walk 1 hour, and walk out. And if anything, that's just for my mental well-being, because my brain isn't wired up to sit inside all day and watch TV. I'm not much of a person who likes to sit down and read. I'm just not that type of person. I'm a physically active person. And, for 2 years prior to transplant, I was going to the gym almost every single day for about 3 hours. If anything, that was for my mental health, to keep me sane. And it gave me a sense, a feeling that I was actually working. I was doing something. And versus just sitting in the house all day on the sofa watching TV. I'm not wired up to do that. I've got to be physically active. Like, I'm not the type of guy, I'm a fairly smart guy, but I'm not wired up to work inside of an office. I've got to be outside. I got to be moving around. And that's just my personality. And so I've reduced the amount of fluid intake, and that's helped. I mean, for me, I'm just a tall, skinny person. I'm not a big dude. So, I mean, I'm not really keeping track of my water intake now. And I would guesstimate I'm drinking probably 1 liter of water a day, because there's water in the food that I eat. So you get water that way. But as far as like just drinking a cup of water, I'm guessing about 1 liter. And I am still having to wake up several times during the night, and I am outputting a good bit of urine during the night. And but I think as time goes on, I'll adjust to just normal fluid intake based on what I'm doing that day, the weather, how active I am. And because you can't just drink the same amount of fluid every day, because your activity level is different every day, and the weather is different every day. And so, but right now, my biggest struggle is isolating. And I'm not completely isolating. Like I said, I am going to the gym and doing 1 hour on a treadmill, and I need that. I will just go crazy if I don't get to do that at the very minimum. I will truly fall into a depression if I can't simply do that, because this morning I just felt down, and a part of it is I'm tapering off valprozolam, so it's messing with my mind. And And it also outside it's really cloudy and it's kind of off and on rain and a bit cold, so that affects the mood as well. And but now that I've been to the gym and walked 1 hour, my brain feels I feel like more energetic now. I feel, more mentally optimistic now. And had I not gone to the gym and walked an hour, I would not be sitting right here doing this video. I literally would not be doing it. I just would not have the energy to do it. And so, but yeah, you know, going to the gym, spending 3 hours there, that was for my mental health. I had to do that. And it wasn't really just a bulk up or anything, but also it was preparing for the transplant, getting my body ready. But it was more than just physical. There was a lot of mental, issues going on right there that I needed that. And for me, exercising is the best medication for me. And so yeah, and so like I said, right now I'm in the process of tapering off of the alprazolam because a lot of kidney disease patients, um, a common complaint is difficulty sleeping because the electrolytes are off balance. They're all over the place. And that creates the difficulty in sleeping. And I was one of them. And so I had to go to a doctor who specializes in mental health conditions. And she was able to prescribe trazodone and alprazolam. And I was taking both of them before bedtime just to give me a decent night's sleep. And that decent night of sleep gave me the energy I needed to go to the gym to exercise. And, but at the same time, it created a physical dependence. And so I started out tapering off of the trazodone, which wasn't too difficult. But the alprazolam, that's a pretty tough one. That's a very strong benzodiazepine. And so I was on 2 milligram tablet, and when I transitioned from 2 to 1, there was no difficulty at all. But I remember when I tried to go from 1 to 0, boy, that did not work. So that's why I'm doing just the 0.25 reduction at a time. So for the past 7 days, or 7 nights, I should say, I've been on 0.75 milligrams, and so tonight I'm going to reduce that by 0.25. So I'm going to be on half a milligram of alprazolam. I'll do that for 7 nights, and hopefully everything goes well, and then I can again continue the reduction. In my experience, by reducing it by 0.25 is I'll go a couple of nights. Like tonight, I'm probably not going to sleep very well, and so it's okay because tomorrow's Friday, no appointments, no nothing, and then I have the whole weekend, no nothing. So probably the next 2 nights I'm not gonna sleep really well, and I'm gonna be like really just blurred, and my focus, even my vision is a little blurry. When I was doing that 0.25 milligram reduction, and I've noticed just the past couple of days my vision has gotten better, and so that just goes to show how strong alprazolam is. And it was funny because when because I saw the doctor, it was last week. It was the fact it was the 27th of February that I saw the doctor, and 7 days ago, and she told me that simply being on 1 milligram is really nothing. She told me she has patients who take several of these tablets during the day. I could not imagine it. They must be, oh my God, they must be extremely wired up to take several tablets throughout the day and not fall asleep. And because I told her how I tried the self taper, and she said, yeah, it's pretty hard. It's a very strong benzo, And but she was saying, yeah, you're only on one. That's nothing. And to me, that's a lot. But I imagine all she has a lot of patients who have really, really serious mental health issues, and so. But anyways, I told her because the job that I'm gonna apply for, she's gonna have to sign a government document, you know, you know, saying that I'm mentally able, and so she's familiar with that government document. And she said she would sign it, no problem for me. And so that was good to know because that's on my medical record forever that I've taken benzodiazepines. And so I want the record to show that I've tapered off, and I'll be good to go. That's very important to me. So, but other than that, yeah, I'm doing okay. I really have nothing to complain about. Um, I'm just doing everything. I had a waistband that I had to wear around my waist for 4 to 6 weeks. So I quit wearing it a few days ago, and the scar, the incision, where they made to put the kidney in, has healed really well. It looks great. It looks great. And so I'm not wearing the waistband anymore. Yeah, but I'm always going to be at high risk of a hernia because of the incisions on my abdomen, especially the long incision here to remove both of my kidneys. That took 28 staples to close me up. That's a long vertical incision, like beginning about right here, all the way just above my private part. A long incision. And for those who might not have seen my past videos, my two kidneys had to be removed. They weighed 22 pounds. It was like two footballs in me. And very big, very big. And I spent seven days in a hospital and lost 30 pounds. That was a very tough surgery. Most pain I had ever experienced in my life. And I do feel my mental clarity getting better, and that could be the result of not taking trazodone and tapering the alprazolam. So that's a good thing, and because clarity is obviously very important, especially for the job that I'm going to seek. And but yeah, so it's weird because I feel good, and I'm still under a lifting restriction, 10 pounds, which I think is ridiculous, and I'm following doctor's orders. Basically, they told me nothing heavier than a gallon of milk, which I'm not strict on that. I mean, I do carry my own groceries in. I know a sack of groceries weighs more than a gallon of milk, so I'm not completely strict on that. And that's a general rule, just a gallon of milk weight restriction. And based on what I've seen, when I go to the doctor and I'm in a waiting room with all these other patients, I'm not your typical patient. I'm not. And if anything, I'm probably the youngest one. I don't recall seeing anyone who looks my age. I'm in a room with a bunch of older people, and I'm really trying to recall right now if I can recall anyone at my age. And I can't. Now, I've read online many people, I had polycystic kidney disease, and I've read online many people have it who are younger, in their 20s and 30s, which I had it, but I just wasn't diagnosed. And again, if you haven't seen any of my past videos, I was diagnosed in stage 5, the final stage. So I went through stages 1, 2, 3, 4, clueless, and so my guesstimate, if I were to look back, my late 20s, stage 1, 30s, stages 2 and 3, 40s, stages 4, and obviously 5 when I was diagnosed. But it is what it is, and I feel very lucky, very fortunate that I got diagnosed, because I did not have much left in the tank. Kidneys functioning at 4%, and because I think when a person's kidney falls below 5% functioning, that's when they're considered 100% disabled, I think. And because that's why I think 5%, or maybe it's at 5% or below 5%, one of them. But the fact that I was 4, my social security disability application was streamlined. And so yeah, but I feel good, and I feel like I'm still not out of the dark, and I don't think I ever will be. I don't think, because I'm always got to take these medications at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And as far as I know, now I have read accounts of people who did not have to take them anymore after 1 or 2 years. So I'm hoping I can be in that category, but if not, hey, it's okay. And lots of people take medication. It's no big deal, you know. And I would hesitate to say 75% of Americans are on some kind of daily medication. And I would be one of the 75%. I'm just throwing that number out there, but I know it's a vast majority of Americans, more than half, are on something. And I think it's because we have more access to health care, and we're getting diagnosed more. And in fact, I've read the CDC, Center for Disease Control, estimates 90% of people out there with kidney disease do not even know they have it. And so not long ago, I was in that category. And so it happens. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and close out this video, and maybe next week I'll post another update. Until then, if you're in my situation, which you probably are if you're watching this video, just to be positive and eat right, try to get a little bit of exercise. It doesn't take much. Just walk on a treadmill for an hour, and it's an amazing thing to do. You don't have to walk fast. In fact, I walked 3.1 miles in 1 hour. That's what I did. So I barely even just broke a sweat right there on my forehead. But it made all the difference in how I mentally feel. And so, again, I waited 3.5 years before I got a kidney, and just recently, I think the last couple of videos I mentioned a patient I met. He got a video, I think he said 9 months, a 65-year-old man, and just someone I met in the waiting room. We started talking, and he waited. In fact, he's in stage, I believe, 3, kind of like between 3 and 4, and is when he got his kidney. And so I'm still in touch with him. We spoke on the phone a couple of times. I plan on calling him this Saturday and checking up on him, seeing how he's coming along. And so, but anyways, until next time, you take care of yourself, and see you then.